Thank you for being here. Now, the more I delve into myself, the more I realize there's going to be an awful lot of changes going on within each one of us. And what I'm going to give you tonight, I got this morning. It has to do with the pump, or the heart. And if I make this way, make it in square, makes it easier. We would call this a 4-chamber heart. And the word chambers is what I like. But after calling it a 4-chamber heart, we call this up here atria, which is plural of atrium. And it actually means a sky light. You know, you go into some buildings that have almost circular staircases going up, and at the top of it you see a big skylight in order to let the light come down. But these 2 chambers here we call ventricle. Each one is a ventricle. And it's Latin, and it means a belly. And when you think of a belly and you put food in there, we think of the belly digesting the food. Now, after getting all this, and I was wondering, so it digests the blood, or the water of the blood, the serum. And that's where the problem lies. Water, whether it be a hormone, a neurotransmitter, mucus, anything that's liquidly, must not be digested. It must be a carrier, like pollen is air, what we call borne, that is carried by air. And if we see some weeds in the sea, that is water-borne. But when and these are the things that carry the messages. They are the messengers. Like Lucifer is the light bearer. He is not the light, but he carries the light. You get that? He's not the light, but he's a bearer of the light. It's like somebody carrying the flag. He or she is not the flag bearer. And that's is something we have to distinguish very, very clearly. And therefore, calling it the water of life is a misnomer. It's the water that carries the messengers. And of course, we call messengers the angels. So in order to make this right, this has to be a chamber and a chamber, bring it all the way back to Latin and the Greek, means a room that's inside of the building, way inside. And or we call it the thalamus, but it means a chamber. And that is what we call, or the Romans used to call, and the Greeks used to call, the marriage chamber. So this chamber is for the male, or the man, let's put man, and this is the woman. And there is a wall here. Now, what about up here? This still takes blood in. Remember that passage when the Savior died on the cross and the curtain in the temple was torn apart? You remember that one? Huh? Do you remember that one? What does it mean? Now, instead of that being a chamber or a house, it becomes the home of the Lord. So you see, we're going to end up probably with, as I see it now, with 3 compartments. 2 inside and 1 on the top. Now, if we study the heart a little more, right here, is the place from where the heart receives the beat. The heart, that is the muscles itself, and everything around the heart, doesn't move. It is this in here that makes it move. And that is the seed. The seed that has a beat or pulse. Pulse. It starts within itself. It needs no outside influence to let that heart beat. But as it is now, and it happened in Genesis 6:3, when the Lord said, I will take the spirit away from man. And of course that's woman too. And he shall be flesh, and his years shall be no more than 120 years.